because I turned it up on my end. But all
Great.
right, everybody, welcome to the Coruscant Courier.
Whoop,
We
whoop.
are live. So, Acolyte,
Yeah, that was something.
it was something. I think the fan base is kind of a lot of them are on the same page about this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it was just a filler episode. They really could have just covered all that content in the season. Sorry, episode three. Episode three would have been an easy cover. Make it 10, 15 minutes longer and cover all that.
Yep,
It just felt like they were just trying to drag it out.
it's almost like they don't have too much of a story to actually talk about or anything like that. So,
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. But yeah, so anyway, I think it was. It kind of confirmed what all of us essentially already knew. Um, I mean, I don't think any of us are surprised of any of the plot lines that happened. With
what plot line?
Saul. Yeah, right. Saul saving Osha and not May,
Mm-hmm.
which we figured that, but the way it happened, he was trying to hold up the bridges. Why not just hold
Instead of
up
the
the girls and
girls,
save them both? I don't get
it
that
makes
one because
no
they're like
sense.
because they weigh like what 75 pounds and he's
At
holding
the
up
most.
bridges. Yeah, and he's holding up bridges that are like I don't know hundreds, perhaps even a couple thousand pounds. I didn't get that one. That one got me.
I mean,
I didn't get that one at all.
I've watched a couple other videos on the same thing, and they're just like, I don't understand. It's almost like they just don't think of any other avenues except the first one that came into their heads.
Right. No, 100%. So,
But I think the biggest thing, for me at least, was that the story still has not really made a ton of sense as like a cohesive story from episode one till episode now. Your mic is muted.
my bad. There has not been a cohesive story.
No.
Um, I mean, I don't really know what the plot is other than we have a girl that went rogue and she
And
had a
keep switching
sister.
sides like every 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we totally know what's going to happen in the finale. They've pretty much already told us.
Yeah.
Um, like Osha is going to turn to the dark side
Yep.
because
100%.
she's gonna embrace her darkness.
Well, she's been seduced, obviously. It was the
Yeah.
seduction.
She's gonna embrace her darkness, as Kamir said to her, and
Yep.
then May is gonna realize she's been bamboozled, and she's gonna turn to help the Jedi. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. You want to talk about I don't even know if you want to call it a plot twist, but it's just I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, and that's not even the thing I'm interested about. Um, Sorry, guys, if I sound sick because I am sick. I've been fighting the flu. It's been so much fun. Um, I'm interested to see who Vernestra is.
Mm.
I really am conflicted with her character right now. I don't know if they're going to go as we were possibly thinking, like, hey, she's Lumaya. She's actually a Sith Lord in disguise or a Sith assassin in disguise. Or she committed some sort of grievous sin in her past, and Kamir is the loose end, and she's trying to go finish him. I don't know where they're going with her character. We're gonna find out. Obviously, we're gonna have some sort of fight in the final episode. So that should be interesting. And obviously, we want to know who freaking Kamir is. So
I still don't think we're gonna. I've seen some articles that have said that we're not gonna find out his backstory at all.
we'll see. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of the articles. I mean, at this point, we're going to know something about him. I mean, we're going to know something. I'm not saying we're going to know everything, but I think it's pretty evident that um, they are going to divulge a little bit into his backstory. And I actually have another theory on what would happen in the finale. obviously, of course, you guys noticed the title Darth Tenebrous is now canon. A couple weeks ago, Tenebrous, when we made that video, was only listed as a Legends character. He is now listed as canon and as Darth Plagueis's master. So that's interesting. Weird timing.
Yep.
Our original theory was that Plagueis is Khmer. Obviously, he's going from body to body, sucking out life force. He can pretty much possess any body he wants because he's just so powerful. That's obviously possible. But what if Tenebrous comes hunting? Just like Palpatine went hunting for Maul and Savage because he felt like that really big disturbance in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And, Maul tells Sidious, hey, what's up, Lee? Maul tells Sidious, Master, I've done all this to return to your side. And then, of course, Sidious is just like, unfortunately, you're trying to deceive me. You've become a rival. And then, Sidious just tries to mow them down. We might see Tenebrous, bro. Like, we might. I mean, now
that'd be if that was like even if that was just a reveal at the very end, it's the last scene, and he just turns his head to show his face, would be so cool.
Dude, it really would. And the thing is that might happen. The fact that Tenebrous is now listed as canon in Wikipedia, and he was listed as a Legends character, and he's now canon as of this week, is insane. Like, I don't know if that's a hint or if it's just coincidental timing.
Now, it could be coincidental. I mean, it could be a timing thing, but it's also, you have to realize, they obviously update stuff for the books as well, so they may be hearing stuff about the books or reading through the books or comics and saying, "Oh, he was mentioned, so therefore." And if anybody else in the comments knows of anything in the newer comics, canon comics or canon books that actually references him, let me know.
Yeah, no, actually, I have it right here. We can actually pull it up. Let me do a screen share in a second. I'm going to pull up the article.
Yep, go ahead.
But yeah, there is actually a direct reference now in canon to Tenebrous. Let me pull up his Wikipedia page, because obviously Wikipedia is king. All right, Tenebrous, canon, mentioned. There we go, notes and references. All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen.
Yep, go ahead.
There we go. Okay, you guys see it? Can you see it, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay, so notice there's a few different spots where he is noted. He is noted in the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary. So obviously, that is a canonical book. He's also noted in Rebels Visual Guide. He's noted in the biography gallery of Sidious.
And I find it interesting though that it's been Legends up until this point.
Well, it's almost like they've been trying to figure out his backstory. I don't think they've had a backstory, because I'm going to show you what his backstory is. There is no backstory. This is all that we have on Tenebrous.
Right. Yep.
He's the Sith Master of Plagueis. Tenebrous was suspected to have designed the scimitar, personal starship of the Sith Lord Darth Maul. As with a number of ancient Sith Lords, Tenebrous served as the namesake of one of the Sith Trooper legions of the Sith Eternal, a cult led by Plagueis' apprentice Darth Sidious. Of course, that was an Exegol. So, anyway, that's all we know on Tenebrous. That's it. Like, we don't know anything else. So, seriously, they could do anything they want to Tenebrous. And we just assume from the timeline of how old Plagueis was, at least in old canon, of how old he was when he died, that this would have been too late in the canon for, this would have been too late in the canon for this to be Tenebrous, unless Plagueis kills him. Like, this might be like Tenebrous' last stand. Like,
that'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty sick for us to get a Sith Lord duel. Like, we've never seen one of those before. I mean, we did see Maul fight Sidious. Maul was never really a Sith Lord, though. He was more of a Sith assassin. He never was, obviously, the power of someone like a Sidious or even a Dooku. I don't even think Maul would beat Dooku in a straight duel. I think Dooku was just a better duelist. I think athleticism, Maul is the most athletic of all time. But when it comes to swordsmanship and it comes to just genius and playing a situation, I think Dooku would significantly have the upper hand. So, um, so yeah. Anyway, like we've never seen two all-powerful Siths fight each other, and we might be wrong. Kamir might just be Plagueis' apprentice. Like,
Right.
you know, Plagueis might come and hunt down Kamir, and a couple decades later, we've got this guy named Palpatine. Wikipedia has some concerns, Lee. What type of concerns we got, bro? Let us in on this. We're going to read all the comments and talk about everything. What type of concerns you got with Wikipedia? Or what concerns does Wikipedia have? They cut a lot of their editors in the past few days. Isn't that because... Didn't Disney just cut like 3% of their jobs? Or 7% of their jobs across the company? Maybe that's why.
No surprise.
No, they've definitely made some budgetary cuts.
I wonder why.
So... You're so funny. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting that they cut editors. This is
Well, it could be because of the
it's a voluntary.
Keanu Mundi
Oh, it's voluntary.
thing
Okay.
too, because I know there was a lot of drama behind the Wikipedia or Wokepedia.
Yeah. There was. You're right. I mean, it is kind of like Wikipedia. It is voluntary, but it is also fact checked. So I don't. We'll see. Well, we need to look into that. Actually, we need to look into what's going on with Wikipedia.
Is there news articles on it, Lee?
Yeah. Is there any articles that you can give us on that? I have not seen it, but I believe you because it does make sense. It does not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah. So anyway, maybe we're gonna see a Sith duel in the final. I mean, we don't
that'd
know.
be awesome. And that's the
what I
thing too.
want.
You know, the duel in this Acolyte episode was good. Episode 7.
It's pinned. Do you see it? Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. I saw it very, very briefly, and it's gone.
I'm not actually sure how to look at his pin. Give
Let
one
me
second.
switch feeds.
Sorry, the new program we're using is a little complicated, so we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it is a little complicated. I don't actually see a pin from you, my brother. Maybe can you just post the link? Can you just send in the link in the chat, and then
comments.
we can copy and paste it? Yeah, that might work better. What was I gonna say? But yeah. So anyway, we've never seen
Only
a Sith
mods
duel.
can.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We might see a Sith duel. That's what I'd like to see.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're gonna get that. I really anticipate we're gonna get Vernestra. And I think Kamir is gonna kill all the Jedi and Vernestra, and I think that evidence dies with him. That's where I'm leaning. I don't know. Saul is the other loose end on this. I don't know what they're going to do with Saul. So they have a lot of things to clean up so that they don't utterly demolish canon. So, which they still can. But if anybody can screw something up, it's Disney. So I am preparing myself for disappointment.
Yeah.
Lee, what's your opinion? If you have an opinion on what we've seen so far, what we're looking forward to in the finale. I do want a Sith Lord fight, man. If all the episodes were like episode 5, I'd be in. I mean, I'd be on like Donkey Kong on this series. But,
Dude, if the show did get one thing right, it was the lightsaber duels.
Oh, the lightsaber duels are fantastic. Best thing we've seen since Revenge of the Sith.
Yep. Easy.
Yeah. You may even argue better than Revenge of the Sith, not quite as good as Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. It's just there's, you know. And the other thing is, too, is that the weird thing about Kamir is that he doesn't follow the rules of combat. I'm not sure if you caught that dialogue when they were reporting about.
Yeah. I mean, they did say that, but you have to also realize they've never fought a Sith.
That is true.
They've only done training. That's it.
Sith play dirty.
Sith play dirty, and they're not used to that. And that's the difference, is they're not used to, fighting that. Which, I mean, I guess wouldn't make sense if you look at, Phantom Menace.
Right.
But that could have been what Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were thinking was this guy's not fighting the way we normally fight each other, spar with each other.
Right, right. Well, and that goes into it too. Is like the other thing is too is that the Sith were big on, particularly Plagueis and Sidious, were
Yeah.
big on basically karmic retribution. They were scared that the Force was going to fight back at them. Of course, the
Mm.
Force did fight back at them by creating Anakin.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so it's interesting that perhaps Kamir is not worried about that, at least not yet. Like, what
Right.
has he not learned yet about the Force?
Exactly.
You're torn on if we will see a Sith. Yeah, so are we, dude. Very torn. Very torn. I think it could be 50-50. Now, if Vernestra is a Sith, that'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This would explain how the stupid Jedi Order never saw Sidious for, however many years he was in power. At least about, let's see, since he was a senator, he got elected senator in Phantom. 10 years later's clones. At least 13 years. At least 13 years under their nose.
And that's
So,
crazy to think about.
oh,
Man.
yeah. 13 years. But once again, as Yoda always said, the dark side clouds everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the thing is like, once again, if they cover it up and no one knows, they would never have a reason to be suspicious that Palpatine was a Sith Lord. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
they'd have no history of like, oh, yeah, this dude, from under the shadows is running the whole world. Um, so yeah, and then anyway, we got you know, so we have that scenario, but at the same time, we have you know, we have Kamir who clearly is only known about by one person. Like his real identity is known by Vernestra. They made that very obvious. So
In what way did they
clearly,
make it obvious?
huh?
In what way did they make it obvious?
Well, Vernestra knew immediately when she heard that it was Kamir. You could tell. They absolutely like foreshadowed it. She knows who he is. And obviously the whip scar on his back, I think,
Well, I mean, that's
kind of
because it's her.
sold it.
She was the master.
Right, but she knows his identity. Nobody else really knows his identity. Even May doesn't really know his identity. She would have
Does May
known
know
that he was the
anything?
Sith Lord. No. Neither is Osha. They're both dumb. But yeah, so anyway, like maybe this series is painting a picture of how the dark side has been able to slip under the Jedi's noses for so long.
Yeah.
And, Palpatine was good at hiding himself, but they were suspicious too late. They only got suspicious when he
When it was too
overstayed
late,
his
yeah.
term.
Yeah.
When he overstayed his term. So, that's too late, you know.
By then, the
So,
damage is done, right? And
yeah,
that's the case for most most everything. It's usually too
well,
late when they figure it out.
and the thing is like the Jedi. I don't like the way the Jedi are being painted as,
Right. Yeah. No.
they're the ones that are responsible for everything.
No.
Like the
This
evil
is
really isn't that
travesty.
evil. It's really just kind of point of view, and your identity is based in whatever you embrace. If that's darkness, that's fine. I don't like that at all. It's really undermining George Lucas's plan and
Vision, yeah, because I mean,
vision
his
of the whole
vision
series.
was there is a objective light and an objective dark. It's not a point of view.
Exactly. Despite their stupidity, they're stupid.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
They make mistakes. We know they make mistakes.
Yeah.
They've made mistakes. So, I mean, we can even name a few off the top of our head that are in the prequel series. I mean,
Yeah.
they were arrogant. They were
Mace
prideful.
Windu, Keanu Mundi. I mean, the list can go on.
Yeah, I mean, they made mistakes, but that's not the question. The question is despite their imperfections and their failures, are they morally and ethically good? The answer is yes.
Hmm.
The Sith are not. And so, like, Disney has made this really gray line, like this really fine line, this gray area of, the Jedi are equally responsible. The Sith are equally responsible. Um,
I agree, Lee.
it's
I agree
just,
with you.
yeah, it's just, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Um,
But
you're
it's
betting
like, what's the
that,
point if there is a gray? Then what's the point in the light and the dark? You know,
right?
and is it even real? Is the dark side real, and is the light side real? Who's to say that either are true?
Well, in freaking Ben Kenobi in A New Hope, for over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace throughout the Old Republic. I mean, like, literally,
Yeah,
Ben Kenobi tells you what
yeah,
the Jedi are.
yeah.
And Lee is saying he is betting that Vernestra is using the dark side, but wouldn't necessarily say she's bad. I mean, we do know that Mace Windu tapped into the dark side when he fought Sidious. Mace Windu knew a uh, Mace Windu knew a technique called Vapod or Vapod. You can say it two different ways. He was basically able to tap into the dark side of the Force without it consuming him. So that's actually how he fought
And one.
Sidious, and that is canonical. That is canonical. So, um, and you can
Let me
see
ask
the
you a
anger.
question. Let me ask you a question because I know it's like debated on. But do you think Mace Windu won that duel, or did
Yes,
Palpatine let him win that duel so that he can
George
manipulate?
Lucas said that Mace Windu won the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, George Lucas said that Mace Windu won the fight. Sidious did not expect himself to lose, but he used the situation that he had. His last appeal was to Anakin. Like, Anakin showing up was what shifted the Force to favor the dark side
Sure.
because Sidious had one more chance to manipulate him. So yeah, no, Mace Windu won the fight according to George Lucas. It was not thrown. Uh, Now, of course, this is the thing we miss in a lot of times in Revenge of the Sith. But when Anakin's having these flashbacks in the temple before all the Jedi show up, Sidious is sending him like these thoughts. I mean, because that's what Sidious did. Is Sidious was the
Right.
one
He
sending
gave
him
him
the
the dreams.
dreams. Sidious was the one who paid off the Tusken Raiders to carry off his mother and kill her. I mean, Sidious orchestrated all of it.
Everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. And it's so interesting too because like Palpatine essentially became a failure after um after Revenge of the Sith. Like fine, he ruled for 20 years, right? Um but he failed to bring Luke to the dark side and he failed to with the whole Rey thing in the sequel trilogy as well. So like he did everything very with brute force after that and nothing worked.
Well, once again, though, it's the way it works with the Sith is their overconfidence is their weakness. He did
Yes.
not think that Anakin was gonna turn.
Yeah.
He
No,
was
exactly.
rubbing it in Luke's face that your father can never be turned,
Mhm.
and just like you will be mine. Like he just didn't think about that. So that's ultimately what got him killed. And obviously, and of course, the movie could have ended 20 minutes sooner than that. He chose not to destroy the rebel fleet because he wanted to remember you remember that like in
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Um, he didn't want to destroy the fleet. He wanted to keep them alive so he could pick them off one by one to make it more torturous to the rebellion. And of course, that was obviously a very terrible idea because once again, overconfidence was his weakness. Trying to rub it in, he advertently destroyed. I mean, the Empire should have won. There's no way the rebellion should have won. The,
Right.
the rebellion. This is the thing about the people forget about the rebellion. It's like, oh well, they're the good guys. They have to win. No, no, no. There's three factors to how something that powerful falls, and you can trace it back into normal human history, not even just Star Wars. Whether it's the Roman Empire, wherever you want to trace it, there's always three things that go wrong before a superpower falls. Number one, the morality of the people declines
Every time. Yep.
every
No,
time.
I've it's common pattern.
Two, there is an enormous amount of suppression and no free will. Three, there is the feeling that there's no way we can ever lose.
Mm.
And guess what happens every time?
Every time.
So, so that I
Without
mean
fail.
that's yeah. I mean it's really and that's exactly the picture that George Lucas is painting in the whole series. George Lucas is literally telling us how the world works. There are evil people behind the scenes that are controlling it all. and they come out in public, and you don't ever think that they could possibly be evil, but
Sounds
they're evil.
familiar. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. So like George Lucas is painting a real world description using Star Wars. So um,
So, I mean, do you think that we'll see? I mean, obviously, probably Kamir will see a lightsaber duel with Kamir. Do you think the whole episode will be just filled with dialogue again, or are we going to see another
action,
episode 5?
constant action.
Because I feel like they wasted this last episode as a chance to kind of start to wrap it up for a season finale, but they really didn't. This
They
show
are,
that I mean
yeah,
this episode could have been part of episode 3 or even 4,
yeah.
um, or 6. Like 7 was an odd place to put it as an episode right before the finale. It was odd.
I anticipate we're going to have essentially constant action. Um,
I feel like they need both in order to make it work.
I feel like
There's too many loose ends.
yeah. I mean, I do feel like this is going to end up being like the last hour of Rogue One. It's just
Mm,
going to be constant something.
yeah.
So,
Because I would think that they're going to do a lot of action in this one, but but in the same sentence, I'm just like, man, how do you wrap it up with action? Why is because obviously the dialogue has been one of the weakest points of this series,
yeah,
but um, what do you do? What do you do? Because there's so many loose ends, there's so many unanswered questions that you're just like, you can't just leave it like that.
well,
Because it's
maybe they
not
intend
those questions that you're just like, I need to know. I need to see season 2.
they
It's
might they might have to answer them all in season 2. Maybe their intention wasn't to do it in one season and to leave some cliffhangers. I mean, as of right now, I expect it to get renewed despite the reviews, just because it has the second highest most viewing of any Disney Plus series
it's
in the
not
Star Wars
because people
universe.
like it though. That's the problem.
I agree, but that's going to be Leslie Headland's
Selling point.
justification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they cancel it, it's going to be seen as Disney caves to LGBTQ hate. That I'm telling you, that's exactly what will happen. Mark my words right now. I'm telling you. You're considering watching it in this order: 3, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. I mean,
If you take out 8, I approve.
he's not right. He's not wrong though. I mean, 6 would perfectly connect to 8. 4 and 5 connect well. 3 obviously sheds context on 1 and 2. Um, I mean, 7. That's the thing about freaking episode 7. We knew this crap, but I mean, we assumed. I mean, they couldn't have made it more
Sure.
obvious.
Yeah.
It's kind of like George Lucas when he originally wrote the prequels. He didn't want anyone to know that Palpatine was the Emperor. And
Mm.
I remember Ewan McGregor was like, "Bro, of course everyone knows it's going to be him. You can't hide it."
They did a pretty good job though. I mean, some of the vocals gave it away and everything, but man, they did
My
a really good
ex-girlfriend
job.
didn't know. My ex-girlfriend didn't know. She had never seen Star Wars all the way through, and she was like, we're watching it together, and she was like, who is this freaking evil Sith Lord guy? And I was like, no shot. But anyway, yeah, good times.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
it's one of
anyway,
those things like I've always loved watching those videos of people who've never seen Star Wars and they watch the prequels first. Just because the big reveal is not Luke, I'm your father. It is you shall be known as Darth Vader now.
right.
That's
You
the
should
big
be
reveal.
known as Lord Vader.
Like, I mean, that's the. I just love seeing those videos and the shock. Same with Order 66. Order 66 is such a emotional roller coaster. Every time I see a different view of it, I'm just like,
And
wow.
honestly, I hope one day they release the extended cut where they show
Oh, yes.
way more. Like
They won't. They won't. But I
Disney
wish they
might to
would.
make money.
I don't know.
Come on, Disney.
They have
Disney
not
do
done a
anything to
good
make
job of
buck.
giving us anything that we've asked for.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I have enjoyed some of their series, and like obviously, I liked Ahsoka, I liked Mando, I loved Andor,
Yep.
and Obi-Wan. I loved those. Boba Fett was kind of mid. Yeah, we talked about this before. Boba Fett just tried to tie in too much to Mando. I think that was a mistake. But other than
Mhm.
that, like the series have been Star Wars.
Right.
This hasn't felt like Star Wars So hopefully we have a big turnaround in the next episode. I am excited to see the lightsaber combat. That's what I'm here for. I want to see freaking lightsaber combat.
Yeah.
So
And we're so easy. It's like that's where we are with Star Wars. We just want to see lightsaber duels at this point. And it's sad that we're at that point. It's like we don't even care about the story anymore. Just give us at least some good combat.
well, most of your fandom is male. Um, so do you know the demographics on women to men that watch Star Wars?
I don't know the demographic, but I know it is primarily male.
It is 74% men, 26% women.
Hmm.
According to Disney Plus, of people who are watching Disney Plus, which is probably gives you a pretty good estimation of what you're dealing with. Now, obviously, I'm not saying make it all about men, but if you were trying to appeal to your base, I mean, there are three things every man wants in life. Every man desires for a battle to fight, an adventure to explore, and a beauty to rescue. Everybody. So it's just like, we need to get back to that. You know, it's like Super Mario World. You're freaking Mario. You fight Bowser. You save Princess Peach. Like, that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
And you can still do that and have strong female characters. Like, look at A New
What?
Hope.
Crazy.
They rescue Princess Leia, and Princess Leia freaking bosses them around for the rest of the trilogy. So it's
She's
like,
a good shot, you know?
Yeah,
And it's
I
one of those
mean-
things like Padme was the same way.
yeah, I mean, Padme was the same way. Because, once again, Anakin, kind of stupid. She kind of had to take the lead. Okay, not kind of stupid, really stupid. And then you had, of course, Luke didn't know what he was doing. He just joined the rebellion. He's fresh. Dude bro hopped in a speeder and joined Han Solo and landed on the Death Star in 12 hours. So,
Hmm.
bro was kind of under the gun. And Han Solo didn't know what they were up against. I mean, but guess who knew? Princess Leia. So, anyway, yeah, once again, oh, but we've never had a strong female character. That's hogwash. That is hogwash. And to me, Rey was a weak character. I felt like Leia and
Yes.
Padme were so much better characters. Way better character development. Just better story.
Yep.
I still, Rey being a Palpatine, but then she ends up identifying as a Skywalker, still makes me cringe.
Well, did you see that it was an older video, but it showed like a theater's reaction to it
Oh no,
where they
no,
started
no.
screaming at the screen and everything?
I booed. Everyone in
Yeah.
my movie theater booed. Well, actually, I didn't boo. I went, no.
They were all right.
No, dude, that's literally what I did. I went, no. And everybody was either boo or I was just like a moan of distress.
Well, no, because
So-
it didn't make sense. The whole and it makes sense for Disney, but the whole point of the sequel trilogy was to find out who she truly was.
Yep.
So instead of redeeming her name, redeeming the Palpatine name, she decided to take somebody else's that was dead
Yep. Yep. I agree.
and take their legacy. It wasn't given, it was taken.
Yeah. And I get it. They're like, oh, but she was all the Jedi. I don't care. She ain't a Skywalker. Like,
Was she
It
all the
doesn't-
Jedi though?
and even that scene kills me.
I hate that
Because
scene.
Anakin should have come out, just like the Sith did, as a Force ghost and appeared before Palpatine.
Or here's a novel thing. Don't bring Palpatine back.
Well, that's, yeah, duh, but stupid Ryan Johnson, The Last Jedi. I really do think they were making Plagueis Snoke. I really
No,
think
that's
that
what they
was the
were.
original
That's what he
plan.
was setting it up for. What really convinced me, that's what was the plan after Force Awakens is that
The
they
Supreme
did
Leader
like
is
a
wise. Remember?
well they also did a panel with J.J. Abrams there and all of
Yep.
the cast or whatever, and obviously
I
the
remember
cast
this.
doesn't know everything about Star Wars, which is fine. But they were asked a question, are we going to see Plagueis? And Daisy Ridley, Ray, said, "Oh, I don't know. Is that?" And she started to say Snoke, and then J.J. Abrams cut her off and said, "We're not talking about that right now."
Oh boy, I remember this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
that was when I
Kylo
was
Ren told
100%
us.
convinced that it was.
Kylo Ren told us in Force Awakens that it was him when he was talking to Han Solo, and he's
Hmm.
like, "Snoke has twisted your mind," and he goes, "The Supreme Leader is wise," and I was like, "Uh oh." Like it's Snoke.
But it would have made so much more sense, and it just,
It would have
gosh,
tied
Ryan
everything
Johnson.
in. It would have tied everything in, and we actually would have had Luke fight freaking Plagueis with Rey.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that would have been sick.
But it's whatever. It happened. It is what it is.
I just want
Um,
to see Plagueis, man. I just want to see Plagueis.
I
Is
want
it
one
too much
simple
to
thing in
ask?
life.
I just want to
but
see Darth Plagueis and then get back to my couch. Like, that's all.
but I do think in this next episode we will see some lightsaber duels. I just don't know what the mix is going to be like with dialogue slash action. Are we going to see? Because I mean, there really wasn't a ton of dialogue in episode 5. Um, except for like maybe the later
Right.
quarter of the episode. I mean, it may be like that exactly. I don't know. We'll see.
So what your before we wrap it up, final predictions. What's gonna happen on Tuesday?
Oh gosh, man. I could see it going a couple different ways, but I mean, I think the Jedi are going to find Kamir on that planet. And it
Oh yeah.
turns out that Osha turned to the dark side. And they have just this massive duel between, you know, a couple different Jedi. I don't know who it could be, but
Kill them all.
dude, that'd be awesome.
Kill them all.
No, it has to happen in order for the lore to make any sense and the story to make sense. The Jedi have to die, and that's the problem. They've created such a problem with their lore that this is the only way it can happen and still make sense with Episode 1.
True.
So that's my prediction. My prediction is that they're gonna kill Kamir. That's my prediction.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's my prediction.
Then who's gonna kill? Then who's gonna kill the Jedi?
No one. I think the Jedi are gonna survive. I think they're gonna leave it with a plot hole.
Oh, okay. You actually think they're gonna leave it with a plot hole?
Yes, I do. I do.
Oh shoot. Okay.
That's my prediction. What's
You did
yours?
not go where I was gonna go.
Well, no, I know what I want to happen, and I know what is probably going to happen.
Okay, that's fair. Well, let's see how
That's
stupid they are.
No, that she can't write. She can't write. And so, and it just shows any interview she does, I'm just like, this person is not an intelligent individual.
Not for Star Wars.
Well, yeah, I was thinking just in general, but sure.
I mean, okay. So you think Kamir's gonna die? I actually think Kamir's gonna live.
Okay.
I think all the Jedi do die. Vernestra dies to Kamir. The rest of the Jedi, Osha reconnects with the Force because she put on the helmet because it's just her and the Force. She reconnects with the Force and freaking just goes ham. And people are like, what the frick is going on? So she goes crazy. She starts, helping Kamir just kill them all.
Leave.
Yeah, I agree. What if, he's not wrong? They're
Well,
two consciousness.
hear me out on this though. I mean, he may be onto something. They started to disintegrate May in this last episode. Maybe she disintegrates and then they become one.
True. That would be freaking weird. Well,
I
here's
still-
the thing. May took the oath of the witches. So
Sure.
she technically can. Osha cannot.
Hmm.
So you almost wonder if her life force is going to enter Osha. Or,
Bro, that'd be insane.
I don't know, dude. Let's see what
Oh
happens.
man, that'd
I
be
mean,
so
if we
wild. That'd
trace
be
back
out
to-
there.
If we trace it back to Clone Wars, though, with the Night Sisters and it's theoretically possible. I mean, they
Sure.
could do that. They could do
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
just don't know if May knows enough about her her background because they all died.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's capable. That's the problem.
I don't know. And here's just I'll leave this. I know I'll leave this episode alone after this because I know we're trying to wrap up.
Make her like the
But
Scarlet Witch.
but I think this in this last episode, the thing that made no sense to me, obviously Soul not murdered, stabbed, which is crazy because everyone that gets a stab wound now survives.
Yep. Everybody.
Everyone,
If you
except for this
if
one,
you don't
apparently.
get decapitated, you're alive.
Yep. So he stabs her, right? He stabs the mother, and she dies, right? But it does not explain to the audience what she was doing, why she was like starting to disintegrate herself and her daughter.
I agree.
Why was she doing that? It doesn't make any sense what she was doing because first reaction, I would have stabbed her too. It's like, oh, she's killing her kid.
Yeah.
Because she didn't say, oh, yeah, I signed off on this. She can go.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of going to a police station and pulling a gun. It's like, what are you doing? You got Jedi here with lightsabers. You're right next to the dude. He thinks you're going to kill him. Of course he's going to stab you with a lightsaber.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, you know what? Soul, you weren't wrong to do that. And so it doesn't make any sense. Again, the show doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
there's one episode away from the end, and we don't know what this show's about or the point of the show.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
I just don't know how it can be that bad. I'll leave the show alone.
I have another theory.
Go ahead.
We're watching Star Wars D&D, and every week they're rolling to see what happens next.
You just see Dave Filoni just rolling the dice. Oh man,
Dadgummit. I mean, at this point though, that's kind of how it feels. But this episode could redeem the series in the sense of if they are able to negate the plot holes, if they get rid of the loose ends, I mean, they really foreseeably could save the canon. It's just whether they thought this far out or not. But I do predict that Khmer lives. He kills all the Jedi. The information gets buried. I don't know what's going on with Saul. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with him. I almost feel like he might leave the Order and just leave and not come back.
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting if they did that because
he just goes rogue. He just leaves.
What do you think about the way the Jedi have conducted themselves emotionally in this?
Horrible.
Because it's really odd because if you watch episode 1, obviously Qui-Gon is super composed the whole time, even when he got frustrated at the council for not training Anakin. Same with Obi-Wan. And, that's why I think Star Wars Theory said this. He said that's why Anakin stood out because he was the only one that was kind of emotionally unhinged. Everyone in this show is unhinged.
Everybody seems unhinged, with the exception of a couple. I think
but Soul he's irrational and just makes split decisions like that.
He's really emotional.
But all of them are like that. It's not just him.
There's only been one Jedi in the series that wasn't emotional, and that was Torg.
Yeah.
I think that's what his name is. Hold on. I always forget his name. Let me see. I don't think it's Torg. Hold on.
Jackie was cool.
Jackie was freaking a beast, and then she got freaking stabbed 3 times with a lightsaber.
That was awesome.
Yeah, well, we know she's dead. You ain't surviving that.
It's like they bring her back. It's like, where did you come from?
Yeah, it's like they wanted to make very clear that she's dead.
I don't know why people actually die in this.
Tord, it's Yord.
Yord, yeah, that's right.
Yord to me was one of the only 2 Jedis. Only one of the 2 Jedi that was not emotional. He seemed very composed. Extremely
What about
composed.
I mean, here's my thing. You know the really big guy in episode 2?
Yeah.
I want him to come back. I want him to do the final blow to Khmer.
Wait. The big guy.
The really big Jedi that was like had the binoculars and was spying on Khmer.
I'm trying to remember who this is.
Dude, come on. He's like
Wait, not Kelnaka.
He's like 400 pounds, dude.
Who the heck is the big Jedi? Hold on.
This is the guy that I want to come back, and I want him to show us his lightsaber duel skills against Kamir. That's what I want to see.
Hold on. I'm looking. See what this guy looks like. Am I tripping? How did I miss this guy?
Come on, dude. You should know this one.
Show me a picture of
There
this
was
guy.
every meme on the planet, dude.
Maybe I'm just like overthinking this.
You are really overthinking this.
I might be overthinking this, bro. While you're looking for that, and before I make my next snide comment, Lee said, I've been wondering if Brendok actually is stronger on the dark side. I mean, they got witches there, and they supernaturally conceived somebody through dark magic. So, I mean, you're probably onto something there. Not sure if we're Sith Temple level darkness, but dark. I can't wait to see this. Oh, biscuits. This guy's Porkins. This is Jedi Porkins. Dear gosh. Dude, I swear if he comes
I want him to come back.
I am done with Star Wars if he kills Kamir. I am done.
That's what it takes, is that guy to come in.
I will punt my streaming PC into the next zip code if he kills Kamir.
Bro, he ate too much force.
He ate too much force. I think bro had too much Java juice and yeah.
It helps the M count. It helps the M count, as they call it now, not midichlorian count. It's the M count.
Yeah, it's like I have no problem with them calling it M count. I mean, that would be like, for example, bear with me here. All of us like abbreviate things. Like, we're gonna go to see the doctor. I mean,
Why didn't they abbreviate it 100 years later?
Really, the proper thing to call it is physician, because you can be a doctor of anything. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Is like you can abbreviate anything. So midichlorian count, M count.
But why didn't they do that 100 years from there?
In Phantom?
Yeah.
Well, Obi-Wan was talking privately with Yoda. Talking privately with Qui-Gon. His midichlorian count is off the charts. I don't even know if Master Yoda's is this high.
10,000.
Yeah, so like he was saying it. It's almost like M count is the professional public way. We don't say the real word. Like,
all I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying?
is I want to see that Jedi come back and have some lightsaber duels. That's what I want to see.
I want to see him get sliced up like a waffle.
I think he would survive.
He probably, yeah. Dude, I literally forgot about that guy until you pointed him out. I didn't even realize he was a Jedi.
Yeah, dude, he's a Jedi, bro.
Wow.
Representation, bro.
Yeah, his stomach is as big as Ki-Adi-Mundi's head, so
we're gonna get so canceled.
Dude,
someday.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Ki-Adi-Mundi. Interested to see if our theory has any bearing. We'll see what happens. If Ki-Adi-Mundi
comes out with a red lightsaber.
Yeah, well, Ki-Adi-Mundi knows and does nothing. Just covers it up.
Yeah.
And throughout the
I
rest
can see
of the
that, though. He's enough of a jerk to do that.
Exactly. The rest of the frequent prequel series, we see Ki-Adi-Mundi, we're like, a freaking Ki-Adi-Mundi, you stupid idiot. like, you're going to stop this, man. Like, seriously, it would totally change the
Order
prequels
66 was literally his fault. Oh, my goodness.
Right. Order 66, they have to kill him because he knows too much. And which is why he's so shocked. He's like,
I'm telling you, bro,
guys.
I'm telling you, we need to make like an animated version of that story where it tells just his story.
Oh, dude. We really should do an animated story of Ki-Adi-Mundi. That would be a W for sure.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all I got, man. Lee,
Yep,
thanks for hanging out with us, dude.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys later. We'll be posting some new videos here shortly.
We're going to try to have a new one up this weekend.
Yep. So, all right. Y'all have a great day. May the Force be with you.
Peace out, everybody.